United States Army recruitment numbers have become a hot topic in recent months, with U.S. Army Secretary Christine Wormuth telling a group at George Washington University that boosting recruitment is the #1 priority this year. Wormuth now pledging to recruit 65,000 new enlistees, despite missing the mark by 15,000 last year.
And our next guest knows what an issue this really is. He co-authored a letter to the Army Secretary calling for the public release of important recruiting and detaining survey data. Let's welcome in Florida Congressman and member of the House Armed Services Committee, Michael Waltz. Congressman, what else do we need to know about this? Because it seems insane that we can't keep our armed forces manned, if that's the right word, with people to protect our country, which should be the #1 job by the American government.
It's the #1 job of the federal government to keep the country safe. Pretty much everything else I'm fine with state and local doing, but they can't defend our borders and they can't man, train, and equip the U.S. military. And look, just to add to those numbers, they're worse than the Army Secretary is portending. Yes, they fell short by 15,000, but that's after they lowered their goal by 10,000. So really, it was a 25,000 soldier shortfall, and they were on the verge of kicking out and discharging another 20,000 over a vaccine that doesn't stop the spread. So I am I'm happy to hear her raising her goals. We have to make up for that shortfall. But at the end of the day, we also need to get to the reasons why this is happening and why we sent that letter along with Representative Jim Banks is the Army is saying they have data that the shortfall has nothing to do with wokeness in the military or this kind of obsession with climate that's going on. Yet the Heritage Foundation, who I'm working very closely with, their data and their polling says the exact opposite, that 70% of active duty members are worried about the politicization that's going on within the military, are worried that we've lost this war-fighting culture where it's merit-based. And I don't care if you're black, white, or brown, Christian, Jewish, what have you, we need the best warfighters, period. That's what we have to get back to. But what our data is showing is it's the lack of that attitude that is leading people not to join and leading people to get out.
Congressman, your thoughts on the recent news that troops who were discharged from the media for not getting the COVID vaccine are now allowed back, but not without some strings attached.
Well, that's not good enough, in my view. They shouldn't be, quote unquote, allowed to apply to get back in. They should be immediately reinstated as they were before COVID, without any strings attached, and should they choose to do so. Unfortunately, many are so disgusted because they felt like they were treated like criminals that they don't want to join again. But here nor there, they should be reinstated with full rights and benefits at the end of the day, and that's what we're going to fight for in the Congress.
All right, sir, it's been a month since AT&T DirecTV deplatformed Newsmax. Wanted to get your thoughts on the matter, whether you think Congress should get involved. I mean, there are different opinions on that, but we value yours.
Well, look, I mean, I understand conservative hesitation to get Congress involved in anything. We tend to mess up more things in the federal government than we solve. However, in this case, we have to stop censorship of conservative viewpoints. America is best served when we hear all viewpoints. And just case in point, we have yet another intelligence agency saying, gee, the COVID may have leaked from a lab. The only lab in China that's conducting this research is where it was the epicenter of the whole thing. Yet just a few years ago, that was a conspiracy theory backed by the media and reinforced by the algorithms in social media. That just is case in point of how this kind of censorship can be devastating to American safety. So we're going to continue to fight for it in the Congress. I think it's appropriate that we intervene. It's not necessarily the committee that I'm on, but consider me a reinforcing voice.
All right, Congressman Waltz, thanks so much for being with us.
All right, thank you.